Let us give the biggest round of applause for A Million Dreams. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, we kindly invite the Minister of the State-Owned Enterprises of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Erick Thohir, to deliver his remarks.
Good afternoon. His Excellency, President of the Republic of Indonesia, Presiden Joko Widodo, Majesty and Excellencies, Asian leaders who are present this morning, Majesty, His Excellency Secretary General of ASEAN, Excellency of Asian Ministers, all international organization leaders, distinguished delegates and guests. It is with great honors and delight that we welcome all of you to Indonesia and the inaugurations of the Asian Indo-Pacific Forum, implementations of the Asian outlooks of Indo-Pacifics. Today, we stand at a moment of opportunity, a moment of responsibility. We gather to construct a future that is more connected, more prosperous, and more sustainable for the Asian and Indo-Pacific regions. The Asian outlooks on the Indo-Pacific becomes a part of our efforts to strengthen regional corporations and promote more sustainable development. As we assume that Asian chairmans this year, we are inspired by the Asian outlooks and the President Joko Widodo's leadership to make ASEAN a true epicentrum of the growth and keep peace, security, stability, and also prosperity in the Indo-Pacific. It is the spirit that we are here today. This forum is a part of Asian chairmanship in 2023, serve as a platform for constructive dialogues and advance of inclusive and concrete collaborations between public, private, and state-owned enterprises. We will involve in leader talks, panel discussions, and business matching with a focus of 3 essential areas: green infrastructures and resilient supply chains, digital transformations and creative economy, as well as sustainable and innovative financings. In the face of complex global challenge, Indonesia government, through our state-owned enterprises, actively collaborate with global partners to address issues across various sectors. For example, by forming strategic alliance to build a battery value chain ecosystems, cooperating and expanding connectivity and digitalizations across the regions, and participating in regional infrastructure development. This example represents the transformative power of regional cooperative for the collective progress of the Asians and Indo-Pacific communities. This is our sincere hope. The discussion and the engagement in this forum will be inspire a new partnerships, strengthening existing relationships, and generate innovative solutions to the challenge we are facing today. Thank you for attention, and I extend my warmest wishes to productive and successful forum. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Majesty, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is only with the greatest pleasure and honor that we shall invite to the stage the President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, to deliver his remarks.
Sri Baginda, Yang Mulia para pemimpin ASEAN, hadirin sekalian yang saya hormati. Kita patut bersyukur di tengah melemahnya ekonomi dunia, ekonomi ASEAN terbukti tangguh dan terus tumbuh, melebihi pertumbuhan ekonomi global dan kawasan lainnya. Dengan populasi sebesar 680 juta jiwa, ASEAN juga merupakan pasar yang potensial dengan peluang investasi yang menjanjikan. Namun, kawasan kita tidak imun dari berbagai tantangan global dan rivalitas geopolitik yang menajam, khususnya potensi konflik di Indo-Pacific. Untuk itu, ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum hadir untuk mengubah rivalitas di Indo-Pacific menjadi kerjasama yang bermanfaat, serta membangun habit of cooperation yang win-win formula tanpa satupun merasa dikucilkan. ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum memiliki 3 agenda utama, yaitu pertama, infrastruktur hijau dan rantai pasok yang resilient. Ekonomi ASEAN akan tumbuh lebih kokoh melalui hilirisasi industri dan pembangunan ekosistem EV adalah contoh konkret membangun rantai pasok kawasan. Yang kedua, pembiayaan yang berkelanjutan dan inovatif. ASEAN membutuhkan 29,4 triliun US dollar untuk transisi energi dan dibutuhkan skema pembiayaan yang inovatif melalui kemitraan yang profitable dan sustainable. Yang ketiga, transformasi digital dan ekonomi kreatif. Ekonomi digital di ASEAN di tahun 2030 diperkirakan tumbuh hingga 1 triliun US dollar dan adopsi inovasi digital perlu diperkuat untuk mendukung ekonomi kreatif dan UMKM. Yang Mulia, saya mengapresiasi dukungan dan kontribusi negara ASEAN dan mitra ASEAN sehingga telah terkumpul 93 proyek kerjasama senilai 38,2 miliar US dollar dan 73 proyek potensial senilai 17,8 miliar US dollar. Ini mencerminkan komitmen kita to walk the talk, membangun Indo-Pasifik yang damai, yang stabil, dan yang makmur. Semoga ikhtiar kita dapat memberikan manfaat yang besar bagi rakyat di kawasan dan dunia. Dan dengan ini saya nyatakan ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum resmi dibuka. Terima kasih.
And now allow us to invite to the stage all distinguished ASEAN members to join the President of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Joko Widodo, on stage for a group photo session. formal pose, allow us to do a countdown in 3, 2, 1. And our second photograph will be taken with the ASEAN Way handshake, right hand over the left. In 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, Your Majesty and all excellencies, and the Presidents of the Republic of Indonesia and all ASEAN leaders. Kindly proceed to Ballroom 1 to explore the exhibition. We kindly welcome and invite the Presidents of the Republic of Indonesia and all ASEAN leaders to explore the exhibition located in Ballroom 1. The exhibition showcases inclusive, innovative, groundbreaking, and collaborative ideas and projects that reflect the spirit of ASEAN as the epicentrum of growth. Ladies and gentlemen, as we've come to the end of our opening ceremony of the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum, we'd like to kindly inform that all participants that our first plenary session on the subject of general outlook on the region will begin at 2:15 p.m. in this very ballroom. So we invite everyone to please join us on the first plenary discussion. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Leaders of ASEAN member states. Welcome to the ASEAN Indo-Pacific Forum 2023 Showcase Area. The showcase tour will be led by Minister of State-Owned Enterprises of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Erick Thohir.
Mr. President, Your Majesty and Excellencies, welcome to IPF exhibitions. We are showcasing strategic projects for different sectors: green infrastructures, sustainability financing, digital transformations, and creative economy. We're also showing that Indonesia's state-owned enterprise are building concrete partnerships with global companies to build ecosystem to make ASEAN the epicenter of growth. Jadi Pak, ini semua kerjasama antara
Yang terhormat Pak President and distinguished guests, I am from Sun Cable, a company that's helping ASEAN transform interconnectivity power projects. In Indonesia and Australia and Singapore, we're developing the world's largest solar power project, 20 gigawatts, the world's longest transmission system from Australia to Singapore, and we are building the world's largest battery. We are also investing $2.5 billion in Indonesia. We're creating 7,500 new jobs for Indonesia, and we are helping to think about connecting Eastern Indonesia. We are helping Singapore decarbonize by providing low-cost electricity to Singapore, decarbonizing the economy. We are also, exploring connectivity in Eastern Indonesia, from Java to Kalimantan. We're looking at Kalimantan to Sulawesi. We're looking from Sumba, Sumbawa, Lombok and Bali, for using undersea cables. It's the future of energy, and we are here to help ASEAN become interconnected through power. Thank you very much, Pak. Silakan, dan terima kasih banyak atas dukungannya. And the President of Indonesia has been very, very helpful in making our project move forward. And we're very, very grateful. Matur nuwun, Pak. Terima kasih banyak. And thank you, leaders, for your attention. Grid and power. Energy, solar PV, sama nanti angin, Pak. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Your Excellencies. So I would introduce the Indonesian Battery Corporation. We are now working with the two biggest EV battery players in the world. And the investment is over $10 billion. And what we are creating is actually from our nickel mine all the way to the nickel matte, nickel sulfate, and the batteries. So this is all integrated. And as you can see, now we can have the battery cells put into the batteries. Now the batteries itself, we can see that we have developed the battery management system. And Your Excellency, this is a very good cooperation for the ASEAN, because we have enough nickel and batteries to supply the ASEAN requirements. So I think the cooperation in the future for the EV batteries and EV ecosystem will be very beneficial, not just for the ASEAN region, but for the entire Asia Pacific region. If you have any... Yes, we will have one standard, Mr. President. So as you can see, we have the battery swapping system so that the motorcycle can easily swap the batteries, not just charging. So it will take only 30 seconds to swap. So this is very important for the ride hailers. So we have this also in the cooperation, and would be very good kind of a business cooperation to have this kind of infrastructure of the EV ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pak Presiden, Majesty, Excellency, Pertamina geothermal present install capacity right now at 670 megawatts. With 35 years of experience, we are going international, we're going abroad. But our immediate goal right now is to be 1 gigawatt companies in 2 years. With that, we are constructing in South Sumatra a 55 megawatts geothermal plant to electrify about 55,000 houses in South Sumatra. The project location is in Muara Enim in South Sumatra, around 300 kilometers from Palembang. This is an extension project of Lumut Bala Unit 1, 55 megawatts. Now we're building 55 megawatts Unit 2. The resource capacity is 220 megawatts. The cooperation of the projects is between Japan, China, and Indonesia. From Japan, Marubeni Corporation. From China, SEPCO 3, a power construction company. And from Indonesia, Wika Wijaya Karya. And JICA, Japanese International Cooperation Agency, is helping the loan around USD 700 millions. So the objective of the project is to make sure we are mitigating climate change, we are supporting the 23% electrification by renewable, and of course, to reduce the 580,000 CO2 equivalent per year CO2 equivalent. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you, Pak. Thank you. Thank you.
Selamat siang, Bapak Presiden. And I'm representing the PLN, the National Electric Company, and we begin the journey of the net zero emissions 2 years ago. We already removed 13 gigawatt of coal in the planning phase. We already devised the greenest national electricity planning in the history of Indonesia. 51.6% additional generation capacity is coming from renewable energy. Now, we come up with the accelerated renewable energy development. There is a mismatch between the location of the large-scale renewable energy in those remote areas with the epicentrum of demand in Java. That's why we built what we call the green enabling supergrid. With that kind of a supergrid, we are able to increase the additional generation capacity. 32 gigawatt is coming from renewable energy. 32 gigawatt, Papa. And then also, we built a new smart grid, hence increasing the variable renewable energy from 5 gigawatt to 28 gigawatt. This is mainly a solar and wind. In that regard, we are able to achieve the net zero emission by 2060. There's roughly additional 150 billion US dollars, and that's going to be the presidential regulation of the accelerated renewable energy development. And this is one example of the project. Is to 192 megawatt peak, the largest floating solar power plants in Cirata. And this is also the collaboration with Masdar, United Arab Emirates, and this is, for example, is this, how we build the launching pad here, and we employ roughly 1,500 local indigenous employees. Actually, we train in Cirata. And this is, we only use roughly 25% of the capacity, so we are able to increase this to become roughly 1 gigawatt capacity. But Pak, sudah siap untuk diresmikan tanggal 27 Oktober ya Pak? Ya Pak. Ya Pak. Jadi sudah lebih. And the accelerated renewable energy development is going to be the new platform, how we're going to be able to harness every single potential of renewable energy, wind, solar, hydro, geothermal, and even current. And then also, this is based on the collaboration. Thank you very much. and this is also a baseline for the Asian power grid, because there will be additional connection to Malaysia, to Sabah, and then also to Singapore. Terima kasih.
Should we start? Welcome to Bank Rakyat Indonesia Showcase, Your Majesty and Excellencies, Mr. President and senior leaders. BRI is the largest ultra-micro and MSMEs banking group in Indonesia. So here, UMI was aimed to serve the underserved of about 45 million ultra-micro customers in Indonesia. And we are giving access to banking services for bankable and feasible businesses, as well as providing empowerment programs in accordance with the customers' bankability and feasibility, in the hope that they can be lifted up and becoming commercial customers. To reduce the operational costs and risk of serving the ultra-micro segments, we implement the Senyum Mobile. So these Senyum Mobiles is a platforms for pipeline management as well as loan originations. With that, then the approval process of loans can be lowered to only 1 day. And right now, UMI and ultra-micro and micro segment contribute about 48% of BRI portfolio, which is very huge actually. And it's now becoming the key driver for Bank Rakyat Indonesia to go further into the future. And move on to the bridging agent. It's our innovations in fostering the financial inclusiveness of Indonesia. So with that, actually, our customers is provided by an app to serve the community around them 24/7. And we also, as a part of our contributions to the what do we call net zero emissions, we also have the so-called BRI tree planting movement. We are targeting in 2023, we will plant about 1.7 million trees in 2023. Last but not least, we also empower villages through the so-called Brilliant Village, now reaching out to 2,449 villages all over Indonesia. Thank you.
Mr. President, Your Majesty, and Your Excellencies, as the largest bank in Indonesia, Bank Mandiri is committed to support government's initiative on ESG. As of June 2023, our sustainable portfolio is 241 trillion rupiah, which is 25% of our total loan. And the share of green financing is 115 trillion rupiah. With this number, we have the biggest market share in green financing in Indonesia. In operation, we are proud to be the first bank to implement digital carbon tracking and committed to achieve net zero emission on operation by 2030. With this platform, we can actively monitor the reduction on emission at all our branches all over Indonesia. And we aim to become Indonesia's sustainability champion for a better future. Thank you.
Bapak Presiden, Your Excellencies, Your Majesty, welcome to the Blue and Green booth. My name is Donnie, I'm the Vice Chairman for Standard Chartered Bank for ASEAN. And Standard Chartered is the only international bank that operates in all the 10 ASEAN markets. We're very proud to be in the region. We've been here in many of the markets in ASEAN for over 150 years. Within the sustainability space, Standard Chartered is committed to be net zero by 2030 from our own operations. And we are going to be net zero from our own financing, so meaning actually all the clients that we finance by 2015. We committed $200 billion to support the sustainable finance by 2030. For ASEAN, we are also basically leading actually the Global Financial Alliance for Net Zero for the JETP, Just Energy Transition Partnership, $20 billion for Indonesia and $15.5 billion for Vietnam as part of the private sector sort of financing. Some of the projects actually that we have done here, the PLN CEO, Pak Darmo, actually has mentioned about Chirata, the largest floating solar panel in ASEAN. We lead the financing for that. And as you can see over here, actually we are this is going to be the largest actually in the whole of Southeast Asia and second largest in the world. We are also financing the largest power plant in Vietnam, in Hua Hai. This is 245 megawatt in Vietnam. So that's actually one of the leading renewable energy process that we have actually across ASEAN. The other point, Prime Minister, we are also setting up together with Temasek and SGX and our colleague here from DBS, the first Asia's carbon trading exchange with climate impact exchange in Singapore. So that's obviously a big thing actually now that the voluntary carbon market actually has risen. Last but not least, just to highlight to you, we have been the mainstay partner for many of the governments. Thailand supporting Thailand's issuance of 1.9 billion sustainability bonds, as well as supporting the largest sustainability bonds in local currency for the Republic of the Philippines in peso, $350 million. We are committed to Southeast Asia. Basically, we are here for good, and we will continue to keep our commitment actually in promoting sustainability in ASEAN. Thank you.
Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, good afternoon. Welcome to DBS booth. DBS is the largest bank in Southeast Asia, and we're strongly committed to sustainability. As a bank, we have done more than 60 billion of Sing dollar in terms of sustainable financing, and we are internally committed to go to net zero, similarly to Standard Chartered, in all our financing to 2050. In DBS, we map out the 9 sectors that creates a lot of emission, like power, auto, mining, shipping, and all that. And then we work on a path to net zero, and we track the pathway to get to net zero for these industries. In DBS Indonesia, we are trying to position ourselves to be a transition partner for our customers to work together on green solutions, sustainability-linked solutions, as well as transition loans. Some examples that we have done, we're the financial advisor for Indonesian Investment Authority, INA, helping them with the energy transition mechanism. We finance TBS Energy for a purchase of a medical waste management firm in Singapore. We have done for the ESG financing, the S part of it, we have done a social working capital loan to e-fishery, which is an aquaculture startup, and we help to make a better livelihood for the prawn and shrimp farmers. We also work on a green loan for State Grid Corporation of China, in working with PLN to do advanced metering infrastructure in Jakarta. So these are some of the green loans we have done, and we look forward to working with everybody to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Selamat sore, Pak Jokowi, Your Excellencies. Welcome to Google booth. I am Ryan, leading public affairs for Southeast Asia. In this booth, you have the information related to our commitment in supporting the region's digital economy. We focus on 2 key areas. One is on physical infrastructure, where we invest on subsea cable to make sure the internet connection in Indonesia and Southeast Asia faster. And also on the cloud region to make sure the digital transformation in businesses, supporting the businesses to grow. And we are also focusing on workforce, making sure digital literacy for all individuals in Southeast Asia becomes very, very advanced. And the region's digital economy is on track to reach $1 trillion by 2030, driven by e-commerce, travel, food delivery. So we are on track on that, but digital inclusion and awareness on environmental social governance remain like a hard work that we need to work together. And in Google, we have helped over 60 million individuals on digital skills, and we will continue to advance like the digital literacy in Southeast Asia. Thank you.
Mr. President, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, I'm Patrice Kane, Group Chairman and CEO of Thales. We are a long-lasting partner of Indonesia, mainly involved in 3 domains. Number 1, defense, where we bring key capabilities to your country, but also know-how and knowledge. And we are going to create a joint venture with PT LAN to bring, again, technology, know-how, and high added value jobs in the country. We are as well committed to Indonesia to bridge the digital divide. Thanks to telecommunication satellites, we have delivered either to PSN Satria 1, which is the most powerful telecommunication satellite in service currently, but also to Telecom Indonesia. And last but not least, we ambition to be a partner of ASEAN, the new capital, to bring some unique pieces of technology, typically a digital ID wallet, cybersecurity features, digital security platform powered by AI to make this new city one of the safest cities in the world. And last but not least as well, unmanned traffic management to enable taxi drones, for instance, to as public service for each and every citizen of this new city. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, Your Majesty, Your Excellencies, I'm representing Bank Negara Indonesia 1946, Indonesia's first bank since our independence. We are one of the largest banks in Indonesia, and in line with Mr. President's direction, we are Indonesia's international bank. We cater all segments, corporate, SME, and retail. Today, we want to highlight our digital program called Expora, which is focused on small business, SME, which we launched 2 years ago. Today, we have more than 40,000 clients, SME clients, that we take to become exporters. 40,000 clients, SMEs from all over Indonesia, which we serve through 7 Expora hubs across Indonesia, west to east, and we bring them through our business matching into the international market. Going forward, we have at least 10,000 new SME clients that we will take into the international markets. What we do is we help the SMEs from the financing, training and education, digital system, cash management, and business matching. Thank you.
Welcome to Telkom Indonesia, Mr. President and Excellencies Leader ASEAN. To support digital transformation, Telkom has built 170,000 kilometer fiber optic from Sabang till Merauke. We have covered around 98% of population. This is the submarine mobile map for global connectivity. And for the digital platform, we have established data center focused on implementing sustainable and grid infrastructure. Now, we are building the hyperscale data center Batam in collaboration with Singtel, Singapore Telecommunication. And this is we have 30 data center all around Indonesia and overseas. There are Singapore, Hong Kong, and Timor-Leste. We are open to collaborate in any potential partnership to expand the data center market. Thank you.
Mr. President, Excellencies, and Your Majesty, I will present on behalf of the Injourney. Injourney is our holding company for aviation and tourism. Today I will present our project in Bali. This is our medical tourism. We developed 43 hectares in Bali for the medical tourism complex. We cooperation with Mayo Clinic for 6 Center of Excellence. And we also cooperate with 2 hospitals from ASEAN countries, one from Malaysia, the Alpha IVF, and the other one is from Thailand with the Vita Life for the wellness. The project will be open on next year, on the April next year. Thank you. This is now the project, Pak. April selesai, Pak. Semua sudah lengkap, Pak. Sudah full, Pak. Iya. Ini rumah sakit, Pak. Ini yang main, Pak.
Mr. President, Your Excellency and Your Majesty, Telkomsel as a leading telco digital in Indonesia, we are now having IndiHome as our fixed broadband and serving more than 150 million of customers of mobile and more than 8 million of households across the nations. And we are now becoming house of payload with serving the biggest data traffic of broadband across the nation, more than 65% of payloads in our networks. And with IndiHome moving to Telkomsel, serving the home broadband, Telkom Indonesia now having 69.9% of Telkom sales. Before is 65%. And we are committing to accelerating our digitalization of Indonesia with the biggest support of Telkom connectivity, more than 173,000 kilometers across the nations and serving 99% of coverage populations. We believe that we're going to support a creative economic of Indonesia. Thank you.
Bapak Presiden, Excellencies, welcome to Netflix booth. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. So Netflix has been around in Southeast Asia since 2016. We are one of the largest streamers. We serve to more than 240 million subscribers all over the world. Our investment in Southeast Asia, especially in countries like Indonesia, we've been spending more and more in investing in local content. Why we've been investing in local content is because that is the gateway to actually promote our culture across other regions as well. So we have been doing many things in Indonesia, such as we've been working with the Ministry of Tourism in terms of promoting wonderful Indonesia, showcasing Indonesian titles, but we've also been working in Thailand as well, promoting Thai content as well, showing it off to the world as well. In fact, a very fun fact, most of the content that we do produce in the region is actually seen overseas. So 70% of the titles that we are seeing is actually shown outside of ASEAN. So with that, I would like to thank you once again for giving us the opportunity, and we look forward to working very closely with all of you. Thank you, Pak.
President, Excellencies, I think we're somewhat different from the other exhibitors. What you see are corporates, and here is the British Chamber of Commerce in Indonesia. We've been here for 45 years, and we regard ourselves to some degree as facilitators or enablers or multipliers of British business and Indonesian business that are here in Indonesia. The British business community has created more than 3 million jobs in Indonesia, is working very, very responsibly across a wide range of sectors. As a chamber, we work very closely on the transition and upskilling and capability growth of education, for example. We'll be working with the IIF in London next month also. And many of our companies across all the sectors, you've heard from Standard Chartered, in the energy transition sector, in the FMCG sector, we are supporting the growth and development and progression towards net zero. And finally, we are the coordinating chamber across the ASEAN community for the British businesses in the region. So very much supporting Indonesia as a hub and the goal of integration across ASEAN. Thank you.
Yang terhormat Presiden Republik Indonesia Bapak Joko Widodo. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Selamat datang dalam acara penandatanganan Nota Kesepahaman Pembentukan Satuan Tugas Nasional Local Currency Transaction. Kerangka kerjasama Local Currency Transaction atau LCT merupakan salah satu kesepakatan dalam Leaders Declaration KTT ASEAN ke-42 di Labuan Bajo yang bertujuan mendukung stabilitas ekonomi dengan mendorong penggunaan mata uang lokal dalam transaksi bilateral antar negara ASEAN. Pembentukan Satuan Tugas Nasional ini melibatkan 10 lembaga negara dan kementerian. Selanjutnya, Bapak dan Ibu pejabat penandatangan dokumen, kami persilakan untuk menandatangani dokumen yang telah disiapkan. Kami mohon Bapak Ibu pejabat penandatangan dapat mengangkat nota kesepahaman ke arah kamera. Sekali lagi kami mohon untuk dapat mengangkat nota kesepahaman ke arah kamera dalam hitungan 3, 1, 2, 3. Ya. Dilanjutkan dengan foto bersama. Para pejabat penandatangan dokumen kami persilakan menempati posisi foto bersama. Mohon izin kami hitung Bapak. Siap. 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi. 1, 2, 3. Hadirin, dengan demikian usai sudah penandatanganan nota kesepahaman pembentukan Satuan Tugas Nasional Local Currency Transaction. Selanjutnya, Presiden Republik Indonesia berkenan meninggalkan tempat acara. Sampai jumpa di lain kesempatan. Wabillahi taufik wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.